And welcome back. I am Berg. This is Berg 247 Entertainment LLC, and I would like to welcome you guys to another episode of Table Talk, where we have guests come in and talk about issues or up and coming projects or things that they have going on in their world. I am joined by my lovely partner, Sierra.
Hello, everybody. And then we also have here joining with us today is Carnell. Carnell, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Good. All right. So, so what we have here, we have a segment of questions that we have for you, Carnell, because we know that you are doing a little bit more of motivational speaking and everything like that. So, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with that?
Thank you. My name is Carnell Washington. I started a group called Motivational Mind Mapping August 18th. It's been a beautiful journey for me. Why I started Motivational Mind Mapping is because I know that whatever we do and how we do it, it starts with a thought.
Exactly.
How we think, how we walk, how we move, it starts with a thought. I'm also CBI trained. I'm also CBI trained in what we call critical thinking. I'm a chemical dependency counselor, and I meet a lot of people who have gone through different types of trauma. And it seems that we hold on to our trauma because we fear the unknown. We fear to step out and continue to be great.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Yep, I can definitely understand that. Definitely relate to that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of our viewers can relate to that as well. Well, very nice. And how long have you been doing that?
The mind mapping?
Yes, the mind mapping.
Mind mapping was August 18th. I actually started the group. I just celebrated my 205th group member. I don't have any followers. I have thinkers. I have mind mappers. And I know that when your mind is clear and optimistic, you can handle anything.
Right. Yes, I 100% agree with that. And so, what are your goals for mind mapping?
Well, my goal started off, and it still is to get people to think. For me, I don't care what you've been through. Okay, you can get through anything, right? So first of all, I validate you. Whatever you've been through, I validate you. You can tell me any and everything, and I sit there, and my job is to listen, right? And I validate whatever you've been through. Okay. And my next question is, how do you want to feel instead? No one's going to say, well, I want to stay in this permanent state. Change is about not living in a permanent state. So I'll ask you again, how do you feel instead? How do you want to feel instead? What's the solution, no matter what you've been through? And we talk about being recovered, right? So recovery is not just about alcohol and drug addiction. Recovery is about anything and everything you want to recover from. Hurt, pain, anger, resentment, abuse, him, her, them, it. When you decide to be recovered, you cannot make you want what you don't want anymore. It's literally impossible.
I understand that.
Okay.
So when people come to you, do you provide them with a safe zone, like a no judgment zone, friendly environment, so people feel comfortable enough to let their issues out, to let their mind wander to new possibilities.
New possibilities, I like that word. So I also teach 9 group sessions of critical thinking, or CBT. And we talk about thinking errors. We talk about AOD education as one aspect of thinking. We talk about value clarification, what you value, job readiness. No matter what it is, we talk about those things and your goals. And I first say to the people who sit down in my groups, when you sit down in my group, this is a no judge zone. Okay. We don't judge here, right? What you've been through, I validate you. What you're going through, I validate you. Our next step is we're asking you to think. I am not anti-alcohol. I am not anti-drugs. I will never tell you what to think or how to think or who to hang out with or where to go. All we ask you to do is think. I'm a pro thinker. Because once you decide, I can't decide for you. Once you decide that something's affecting you and you want to heal, it's totally up to you to make that decision to take the step forward. It's about taking the first step.
It is, and I agree with you. That is the most difficult step for myself in the past. I sometimes felt like maybe I should be cautious about moving forward with things. You know, I don't know if it was blocks put up in my head that prevented me from actually taking steps moving forward in the right direction. But I always noticed it was like a hesitant motion moving forward.
I understand that because we deal with what we call life history and we deal with what we call lifestyle factors. Now, life history are the things that happen to us we have no control over, such as an absentee father or things that happen with your family that you don't control as a child or an adolescent. And then there's the life history. The lifestyle factors. And those lifestyle factors are choices that we do. For me, I can't say, well, because something happened in my life as a child that I'm doing, like my dad wasn't there. So I can't look at my kids and say, well, my dad wasn't there, I'm not going to be there for you, right? That's a lifestyle factor right there. It's choices that we make. Life history, we have no control over. So I can see when you say taking that step or moving forward, you could be hesitant or apprehensive about moving forward because of what you've experienced, and we call that trauma.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, definitely see that. Okay, I see that in a lot of people. Actually, hard for them to move forward with traumas in their past and everything like that. With that being said, how do you train, or what methods and techniques do you use to train someone's mind to think positive, even when they've had that life trauma or histories, as you would say?
Well, someone's referred to us through I would say through the probation department, the court system, or just people that I talk to in treatment centers. Just being able to impact someone when I come in and talk to them,
Okay.
right? We actually ask you to look at what's going on. First of all, it doesn't start until we take a look at it, right?
Okay.
If and when I don't take a look at it, then I'll stay in that permanent state.
Right.
And that permanent state is blame, hurt, and pain. I know it's there. We know it's there. We know it happens. But when you decide to take a look at what's going on and say to yourself first, I want something different, right? So we actually go to that. We actually ask them, so what happened, right? Let me hear what happened. I'm a listener. I like to listen first. I don't ask questions unless I listen for the information first, right? I can't make any predetermined solutions for somebody. You have to do that yourself. I can't bring you closure. You have to find that yourself. Okay. But once you find that, right? Once you find out what you want in life, you're going to spend the rest of your days waking up and going to get it. Right? We know trauma's there.
Yes.
We know hurt and pain is there. It's there. It's a lot of us are. A lot of us have experienced that. For me, I'm in recovery. I am recovered. I don't make an effort on being recovered. It's effortless because I know what I did, where I've been, and where I'm going. Yeah. And it's my job to help somebody else get there. Okay. Right? I may not remember your name, but I know your story.
Yes.
So that's how you help somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So just maybe basically like listening to them and letting them vent, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Let them talk. I know that I teach a group called T4C, which is Thinking for Change. And we have skills like active listening, giving feedback, asking for what you want. And those skills help, right? Those skills help people who have never experienced that type of life. A lot of us are so impulsive that we don't have those skills. It's not until we are in a position where somebody else is telling us how to live that we're probably forced into that situation. So yeah, you're right about that.
Gotcha.
Now, I know you deal with group settings, but can someone reach out to you through Messenger, like for a one-on-one conversation?
Yes.
To maybe they're not the type to open up in a group. They just have something that they want to get off their chest, or they have that's been worrying them or holding them back. Would you be okay with someone reaching out to you, just for that personal experience?
Yes, I do. I have people that reach out to me on Messenger all the time.
Great.
My motivational mind mapping group goes across continents from Africa to Asia, South America, Yes, and I have people because I put out content every day I wake up, and throughout the day I put out content, short little thinking thinking blogs and long blogs, and people say I needed that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I needed that. So, do you have any advice for me? I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Stay driven.
Yes.
You know, for me, being the journey I've taken, I wake up every day without an alarm clock, driven. I just don't wake up because there's an alarm clock there. I wake up without the alarm clock, and I'm driven, to serve the universe.
So you wake up feeling or knowing like I have a purpose.
I wake up every day knowing I have a purpose. You're right.
That's
yes.
great. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Okay. Why do you think it's important for people to have a positive outlook on life? And also, how do you keep people from not letting them influencing you negatively?
Okay. Good questions. I know that if I keep living in the past, I will continue to delay my future. Right? So I know that the people that are looking to derail me, I'm sorry, I don't see them.
Okay.
Right? I don't see them. Okay? I give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? But I know that my life has become effortless.
Okay.
Some people may say, well, how is that?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know how it happens. But I just can't, I couldn't keep losing, right? I couldn't keep losing. And if I kept losing, it would become a culture.
Okay.
And I've been there. I've done that. So I know that aspect of my life. So no one person or no group of people, can derail me from my driven. And this is bigger than me. This is bigger than me. I'm here to listen, give advice when advice is needed, and keep moving. Keep it moving. My sister has a saying, keep it moving, right? And I say that to anybody who's struggling. You're going to struggle. Yes, admit it. Identify it, own it, and replace it. People say that could be that simple. It could be that simple. I won't make it complicated. Identify what's going on with you. Own up to it, and replace it. Replace it.
Because I feel like the average person who doesn't have the mind mapping training sometimes may feel overwhelmed because they have work issues, family related issues, friend relationship. It's so many angles that can attack a person where if it all comes at you at once, you may feel overwhelmed. Like you just want to throw your hands up and give up.
Right.
You want to walk away from your relationship. You want to quit a job. I believe that it's probably just a moment
Yes.
that's not going your way, but that moment will pass. If people can learn to like train their mind to just kind of get over that moment and know like it's a bigger picture. I have a bigger journey ahead of me.
Right.
This moment is so small to my big plan, And I think that's what a lot of people may face because especially currently going through what the world is going through now.
Yes.
The whole pandemic and everything is taking a lot from families
Yes.
and people individually. So I can see where someone would have a problem with things, getting over certain things.
Yes. Yes. I can definitely agree with you on that. Right. I know that I decided long ago to stop looking at what I gave up and start seeing what I'm gaining, right?
Okay.
And it's very tough for a lot of us, a lot of people. Like you say, they want to quit. They want to give up. For me, I would say that I implore you and I challenge you to write down the things that are bothering you.
Okay.
Write it down. Take a look at it. Because once you look at it, you can work. I think you can work from there, right? You can see it. It becomes more tangible. You can see it. I can touch it. Because in my thinking, it's there. I can sit in my thinking and do a lot of things, right? There's still going to be choices, right?
Yeah.
Everything starts with a choice, right? And when you say what people want to give up, yes, I validate you. You want to give up, but you really don't want to give up. You want to give up, but you don't want to give up, right? Because the fact of the matter is, in everyday life, we do what we want to do. There's no doubt about it. Nobody can make me quit my job. Nobody can make me do drugs. Nobody can make me do what I don't want to do. We do what we want to do. And in that aspect, when I do what I want to do, I can change my life. I can.
I like that.
I can.
I've felt like that before, to where I have an idea or a thought in my head, and it's so much stuff in my head, you know, from so many different ventures and lanes that I'm working on, that some things overlap or get cloudy, and I lose sight or vision of my plan or goal. So it is best for a person like myself to write it down.
Yes.
You know, that way I can see it, and me personally, if I'm visually reading something, I'm focused on that.
Yes.
But I feel like if I try to retain something and keep it in my head, it gets scattered and mixed, you know. I don't know if that's just me, or, you know, maybe I need to be medicated or something, but I have a problem staying my train of thought, you know. So it helps me to actually prioritize, or like write things down, so I can have a checklist.
Right.
Bam, that's done. Let's move on to the next one. Then you look back and you say, hey, look how far I came.
Yes.
You know, and it's all because of the way I planned it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's very true.
I do agree with that.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
So you're saying, I mean, yeah, you're right. It is better for people to actually visually see, you know, what's blocking them, other roadblocks and obstacles, so they can focus on that to get over them.
Yes.
I completely understand. It makes a lot more sense to me. I don't know why I've never done that before, but it seems it's very, very doable, very tangible, and I feel like a lot of people can definitely benefit from doing something like that. Just, you know, it doesn't have to be huge, doesn't have to be big, just, you know, little things that you want to get over. I can definitely see that. That's okay.
Yeah. When I encourage people to write things down, and you write down what you see, you write down your goals, you write down what you didn't want to happen to you, you write down what you want happening, what you want to happen to you. And I implore people to say, once you write it down, before you write it down, you see it before you get there, right? Especially goals.
Yes.
See it before you get there. I tell people, every day that you wake up and you prepare for your day, expect nothing, but be prepared for everything. Okay? Expect nothing, but be prepared for everything. That means that life is an activating event, no matter what it is. If it's road rage, or somebody cutting you off, or someone trying to cuss you out, or anything like that, be prepared for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? Right? But expect everything.
Expect everything.
Right?
I like that.
So you see it before you get there, right? And that way you can operate through it. There's no impulses that can get you in trouble, right? Because your mind is already there before it ever happens. And that's how I operate. The fact of the matter is that I'm a recovered individual. Why I remain recovered is because I ran out of excuses, right? Being recovered, right? I know that my recovery put me in a position to actually sit here and have an opportunity to talk to you guys and your audience about what's it like to be recovered from whatever it is you want to recover from. I know. There's a thing called relapse, right? And we may associate relapse with alcohol and other drugs, right? But when you relapse, no matter what it is you go back to, you're still negotiating, right? Your hurt, your pain, your anxiety, your blame, okay? Oh, that first cemetery, that first or last cemetery, right? I know that you know, why I'm recovered, because when you run out of excuses, you have no place to turn but to yourself. So
Yeah, what do you say to someone who actually was trying to move forward and better themselves, but they, you know, end up taking a step back, you know, and they want to give up, or, you know, oh, I can't do this, you know, this is evident because now look at me, I'm reusing or redoing stuff that hurt me or been through.
Yeah.
You know, how do you tell them it's going to be okay? We all can make a mistake or make a choice to where, you know, we're taking a step back instead of forward. Should they give up?
I say to them, what is it that you don't see about yourself? And you're going to get a lot of adverse negative answers. I just ask them, you know, At what point are you deciding to give up? Because we know you don't want to give up. We know that. I just listen and I ask them to find a solution. No one's going to find that solution for you. And I get that a lot. Carnell, I can't do it. Carnell, I'm tired. And I say, yes. But why do we ask you to do these things? Why do people ask you to do the things that you seem to not be able to do? Because other people have done it before you, and they've done it successfully. That's why we ask you to do it. It's not up to me to make you do it. The information is there. You cannot unknow what you know. I've had several people that I've known in recovery or in treatment have passed away. They knew the risk. So, unfortunately, or fortunate for me, I don't have the answers for other people. I just know that this is what I've done. This is what works for millions of people, right? And I know that staying focused, different techniques of writing things down and documenting what's going on with you, taking a look at them and then taking action helps.
Okay.
We don't ask you to do anything we wouldn't do.
Right.
It's just up to you. It's up to you to take the first step. You don't have to see the whole staircase.
Yeah.
Just take the first step when you want to, when you decide. I kind of X'd out a couple words in my vocabulary. If and try. Because if is negotiate, it's a sign to say, okay, I can just opt out. Trying, for me, is attempt to fail, right? You wake up, you get it done. It's going to take some time, yes. I'll never invalidate you. But if you want to get it done, you'll get it done.
But wouldn't that word "if" come up in choice making? Like, if I go this route, but what if, I make this decision? So should they X that out? Because I think that is something people could tell themselves before making a decision. Hey, if I go this route, I know my family will be in jeopardy. I could lose this. But if I go with, this way,
Yeah, that's very true, and I like that analogy. But for me, because I'm always speaking in the first person.
Oh.
I know that if I walk into a bank with a gun or a note, I'm gonna lose, right? There's an effect to that, right? If I decide to go back and start using, I'm gonna lose, right? So for me, what a sponsor said to me one day, he said, Carnell, if you remain clean and sober, and I listened to him. He said the most amazing thing is going to happen for you. And I bought into that, right? And I decided to, tell the world, right? And I looked at it, and I started to change my thinking, and I said, you know what? I'm going to change that if to when you decide to remain clean and sober. Because as far as the whole recovery aspect, maybe I should say that, if is an outlet. You mean if I stay, I have a choice? Like if, no. When you decide, the decision is you. The most amazing thing is going to happen for you. So you're right you're right in both aspects, right?
That's great.
Yeah.
And so you also deal with kids and adults, or is it mainly adults? Or are you preaching to teens and?
Actually, I deal with adults. Just recently, I was in Toledo and I spoke at a high school, and it was a DARE program. It was a graduation, so there were like adolescents there, and there were high school kids, and so I actually talked to both, but mainly it's adults. But of course, there's a saying that when you take that first drink or you take that first drug, at that age, you will remain at that age until you walk out of that, right? So you can see this person as an adult, but they're still living maybe at 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, or when they took that first drug.
Okay.
So in that aspect, I try to reach everybody. It's everybody who actually wants to be reached, right? Because we cannot unknow what we know. We know these things. you know, because you'll say to somebody, okay, Carnell, Carnell, this, that, and the other, and I'll say, I know, right?
Right.
So people know. We know. We cannot know what we know already. It's just that it's just a matter of time of us fixing that problem. If if and when we have a problem, to fix it.
And you know what? I think I would like to touch on that more. We're going to do a part 2 to this. Let's go ahead and take a break, commercial break, intermission, and we can pick it back up where we're leaving off at.
Sounds good.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and please click on the next video for part 2 of this incredible, mind-blowing interview. We're back to the second part of our mind-blowing interview.
Thank you for tuning in and staying with us here as we continue these questions with
Yes, let's keep it
Carnell
going.
again.
Yes.
Thank you again for being with us. Really, really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
So diving into one of my final questions here. There are plenty of people growing up. There are big families around everywhere. There's people can be easily overlooked, underappreciated with big family. I see it happen a lot with everything. And they have that mindset as an adult of being overlooked, not being appreciated or anything like that. So it stops them from wanting to achieve anything, wanting to do anything. So what would you say to those people who want to better themselves but don't really know how?
I know that's a good question. Right. So, growing up with 3 elder siblings, we had the nourishment of our family unit. So, and I've seen it because I'm from Chicago, and I've seen siblings go different ways and different routes. I just know that what determines a person's life is not his past. So, your past has no bearing on your future. Your future is entirely up to you. I know that it's tough. I know that it's painful. I know that you want to give up. And there's no story so worse than bearing your past, right?
Right.
And for you to feel that way, it's a challenge, right? And you're looking for closure. You're looking to get started. I say, get started. Find a way, right? Because giving up is an option. It's an option.
It is. Yep.
Okay. There's a saying that it's easy to lose. It's easy to give up. It's easy to lose. Just do nothing. But we know that we all aspire to do something. We all aspire to be great. And great is subjective to how we see it. I'm not talking about media superstar great. I'm talking about being a great father, a great leader, seeing things in your past, seeing things in your life history that you don't want to happen with your family or your wife or your children.
Okay.
So in that struggle, it's up to that person to find that closure. It's up to you to find goals and avenues, to get you out of that trauma-laden thinking, right? Everything starts with a thought. And what you've been through with your family is valid. It's very real. I say to you, when you decide that you want something different, get the information. Focus on the information. Focus on your goals. But the most important part of that aspect is taking the first step. There's a staircase there. It's at the top. It's waiting for you. Nothing can stop you but you. There's a saying, and I'm going to say it. It's you versus you. Right?
That makes sense.
We've had sibling rivalries. We've had things in our family that we, don't like and we experience. Yes, that's valid. Right? But when it's time for you to step up and stand out without the world watching, you will do that. You'll do it because you want it. It's not that you need it. It's what you want. Right? And no one's going to validate you but you. It's about you validating you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once you start to see that and you take action, the world will follow your lead.
That makes sense.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah. Nothing happens without you. Thank you.
Okay, and so I'm sure you run across that a lot, with your groups and people that you talk to, well, what about this and what about that, and I can't do this because of that. So it's just a whole bunch of excuses. And so basically what you're saying is when someone's ready or when they decide,
Yes.
then that's when the first step is going to be taken on that staircase up to their goal, basically.
Yes. Excuses sound good to the ones who's making them, right? Now I can't say enough about mental illness or mental challenges. Okay, those are very, very true, right? Excuses are just what they are. Excuses. They sound good to the person who's making them. I know for me, my excuses snitched on me. My excuses exposed me. My excuses had me walking the streets at night. My excuses had me homeless. My excuses had me walking prison yards. Until I came to terms with that. Until I came to terms with who I was as a human being. I had no more excuses.
Okay.
I ran out of excuses. Right. So it's about just getting it done.
Just getting it done.
And part of my motivational mind mapping after I do the blog, my last words are either be amazing today and let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
I like that.
Yes.
Quick side note. What do you tell someone who has it made up in their mind that they, I've conquered everything, my fears, I accomplished my goals. There's nothing no one can tell me. I'm at a point in my life to where I'm happy. Everyone around me is happy. I'm content with everything. I'm just going to stay here. I'm at this point now to where I feel like it can't get better. I don't want to strive for anything else. I just want to ride this wave out. Is that a good way of thinking as a person, or should you always strive for more? Should you always push yourself, your mind, to do more? Because I feel like it's limitless to what the human mind can do, to what a person can do.
Yes.
So what do you say to someone who says, "Hey, you know what? You got good information to put out here, but for me, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm good where I'm at."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I know that I would say don't limit yourself. You're playing small doesn't serve the world. If someone wants to stay there, it's subjective. They've reached that point. And it's okay. It's okay. When you decide that there's something more to learn and there's something more to contribute to this universe, then make that decision. But for the person who says, I've learned enough and I've been there, it's subjective to how he sees it. So I commend that person. But I know that, you saving information for, you saving information just for you, you could be helping or hurting somebody else. Or somebody's going to be hurting, who wants to hear you. Because someone's waiting to hear your story.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay.
So if that person says, listen, I'm where I want to be. Okay. Right? Because someone's going to come along, right, and help somebody else. Right? So I commend that person on saying, okay, I'm done with this. But always remember, there's more to learn. I know the more I know, the more I don't know anything. And I continue to drive. My driven is so hungry. I'm hungry. I have a drive that's so powerful that I want to keep going every day. I don't know how it happens, but there's so much to learn out there, and not just for me. It's to help somebody else. is let me just give you some information about what I've learned, and after that, it's up to you to do what you want to do with it, right? That's how I feel about that. So,
Yeah, I had someone tell me that a wise man understands that a wise man knows nothing.
mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
And it took me a while to try to break that down and understand it, but I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you could never be, you not, you know, you can never know everything.
That's right.
You know, it's always more. It's always more to learn. There's always more to give.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it's yourself, your time, your the stuff you've been through.
Yes.
So
Yes.
always
Very
give
true.
back, even if you think you reached that point to where you're comfortable. It's someone else who needs to get to that point and probably want to go further.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very true. Very true.
Okay. Wow, that's very powerful. Very powerful words. Very powerful stuff that you're a part of. And how does how does our audience get a chance to get a hold of you if they're interested in your motivational mind mapping, being a follower or a thinker,
Okay.
as you like to say,
Yeah. I call them mind mappers.
mind mappers.
Right. Partners in thinking.
Okay.
Right. Because what we think about determines the quality of our lives. How we think about it. No outside situation can determine how we think. Right. So go to Facebook. You'll see, type in motivational mind mapping. You'll see a cup that says, be amazing today, or make today amazing. It's a cup right there. It just log in. You can see, just punch in for the invite, and I will invite you in.
Sounds good.
Yes.
That's
So,
good.
yeah.
Sounds very good.
Great.
So what we're gonna take away from this is choices always start in your mind, and your mind is the one that holds the keys, and you just have to be the one to unlock the right doors.
Very
That-
true.
That is really
Very
nice.
true. Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys want to know any more information about us or the services we provide, feel free to go to our website. That's www.berg247ent.com for up and coming events, scheduling, pricing, or whatever it is. Any questions, feel free to hit us up and we'll answer anything.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Carnell, we really appreciate you joining us on the segment
you.
of Put It On the Table.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
And we hope to have you back on the show soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.